Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG World 2017. Now, today we are going to be using Jesper Eriksen's top 4 Turbo Darkrai list. He got top 4 at the Oceania, I never know how to pronounce that, tournament in Melbourne. He lost in top 4 to myself with the CGI Yveltal. But I still really liked his list. Like, it's obviously great. He was the best placed Turbo Darkrai, the only one to make top cut. And the consistency in this list is just so great that I really like it, and that's why I'm going to use it. If you want to see a more in-depth analysis of the list, definitely check out last week's video on the analysis of the Melbourne decks. It's right there. It's I go much more in depth as to why this list is the most consistent list I've seen for Turbo Darkrai and pretty much in general, with so many 4-ups, if you will. And yeah, that way we can jump right into the games. It's consistency combined with raw power and the fact that as the game goes on longer, the deck actually starts getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So let's try and emulate that. You also don't have a terrible TCG Yveltal matchup, I don't think. Seems like we're up against SP and Evolution, though, based on the deck box and the previous screen, because he had Lightning, Water, Fire, and Colorless. So I would expect this to be a Turbo. An SP and GX deck. Now, starting Shaymin is definitely the worst, but oh wow, never mind. Well, it is evolutions, but it could be either dark types or Umbreon and Espion, or just Espion, or just Umbreon. Though with the psychic deck box, though, I really do think, oh wow, no, never mind, it's Wolfet, that's why. Okay, so it's probably Umbreon evolutions with Wolfet. Should be an okay matchup. We should reach a point where we can 1-hit KO an Umbreon. He doesn't get any benefits off of focus Pablo, off of the other evolutions. Like, the only type he gets a benefit off of is Lightning against my Shaymins. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Now, I have a weird starting hand, I think. I could Hoopa. Wow, my opponent passes. That's really bad for him. Okay, with that Experience Share top deck, I definitely want to Hoopa here, if it's available. It's not. What? No way. How is Hoopa not available? Hoopa is priced. Okay. That's actually terrible news. Trainer's Mail. The Ultra Ball is not really worth it, I don't think. Okay. So, I'm gonna keep the Enhanced Hammer in the deck, as well as the Ultra Ball. Okay. So, I'm gonna attach both Experience Shares here. And I will just Sycamore. Obviously, I don't want to Hex Maniac here. We're not gonna get a super explosive turn. We don't have access to Shaymins, we didn't even have access to Hoopa, and we find 0 max elixirs. Yep, we find 0 max elixirs. I guess I could parallel my opponent just to limit him a little bit more. I genuinely doubt he plays Delinquent. But anyways, I could switch, but I think I can wait a turn, because if I somehow manage to top deck a max elixir, that'd be great. I'd really rather attack with a Fighting Fury Yveltal Darkrai. But it was important to get both Experience Shares down. Now my opponent does top deck Darkness Energy, and I think he misplayed. He should have retreated, attached the Darkness Energy, he would have been able to use Energy Evolution, and then he could have used Strafe, attack the Shaymin-EX for 30 damage, and retreated into the Wolfet. So yeah, there's a sad face from my opponent. What can I say? And he concedes because of that. That's a mistake. And sure, Wolfed is good. Wolfed is a good counter to a lot of the decks that we are seeing at the moment. But there are drawbacks to playing it. Definitely, it slows the game down for your opponent, but also for yourself. So there's that trade-off you have to value, or evaluate rather. Now, darkness, lightning, and water could mean, once again, Umbreon, Vaporeon, Jolteon. I win the coin flip, so let's go first. And let's not start Shaymin or Hoopa, shall we? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We get 3 Pokemon tool cards once again in our starting hand. And depending on what we top deck, hopefully Hoopa isn't priced this game. Okay, so we see a Zorua. Okay. I mean, I could discard both supporters and then Shaymin for 6. But that's, we don't know. Okay, in case Hoopa is priced, I can still play all the tool cards down. But Hoopa isn't priced this time around. Great. I should be checking for other things. If I were playing in a tournament or something, I would definitely be checking. But since I'm not, I'd rather keep the game flowing just a little bit more, you know? We are going to set up for 6. That's just crazy. Okay, so experience shares on 2 of the Darkrai, fighting few belt on the active, and a Shaymin for 6. Now, odds of us dead drawing off of the Shaymin for 6 are very low. We definitely don't. I'm gonna play Trainer's Mail first, I guess. Wow. Do I get the Parallel? Yeah, I'm gonna get the Parallel because I am up against a Zoroark. So that way I limit my own bench. And I get rid of the less useful Hoopa and Shaymin. I have a field of 4 pure Darkrai's. I get to hit the max elixir, that's just great. And now, here's the thing. I could Sycamore here, but I would lose the energy and I would lose a Verse Seeker. But if I Versus Seeker Hex Maniac, like I don't really need too much else in this turn. I pretty much got a perfect, well not a perfect turn 1, but close enough. So let's Hex prevent my opponent from using Shaymin and things like that. He might using Energy Evolution of a potential Eevees, which is what I would expect from my opponent. And yeah, this should put us in a really good position. A Delinquent would be quite devastating. That would definitely be quite devastating, and something that only just occurred to me after I played after I finished my turn. But my opponent uses Sleely, so we are safe from the Delinquent, and my opponent needs to play down more Pokemon. It's as simple as that. And also the fact that we are up against an Umbreon GX means that we really need to be careful with our energy. Wow, he whiffs energy, so that means I'm probably going to want to attach 3 energy to the active Darkrai. If anything, to prevent Dark Cold GX from affecting us too much. Now I get 2 more energy, which is cool. I get a Lysander off of the Trainer's Mail, so I get to threaten my opponent with that. Let's see if we can hit the elixir. We can't this time around, but that's fine. In the current situation we're in, whiffing the elixir is not terrible. Definitely not terrible. We get a prize card. Choose a Float Stone. Not as useful, I would say, at this point in time. We are hitting for 90 damage, 110 the next turn, so we will be 2-shotting the Umbreon GX. Even if he removes 2 energy. And yeah, my next energy definitely goes to the active Darkrai-EX. in order to prevent Dark Call from affecting us. That's definitely the play here. And that's just planning ahead, you know? It's like, how, I'm in a really good position. How can I prevent my opponent from getting back into the game? And the answer is doing things like that. Like, attaching 3 energy to a Darkrai-EX might seem silly and not too efficient, but if your opponent uses Dark Hole GX and you don't have an immediate switch or escape rope in order to balance that out, you could be in a lot of trouble and it could really set you behind. So yeah, that means if your opponent wants to really hinder you or force you to have that out in the escape rope or the switch, then he has to Lysander and Dark Hole instead of just using Dark Hole. So there is a balance, and there's also the fact that if my opponent does that right now, or he's gonna use Strafe right now. Okay, he's gonna send up the Taurus, but that's fine because we have the Lysander. He saw us grab the Lysander, so, and he will end. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. If he didn't end, then going back into a Taurus wasn't ideal. We get the Lysander anyways, but we don't get an energy, and that could really set us far behind. That could actually set us really, really far behind because of the Dark Hole GX. Now, I can't play down Parallel City and then play the Shaymin down because Parallel City would shut down my Shaymin. I don't have another energy. I guess I do have the escape rope though, so I'm gonna Lysander, KO the Eevee. And would I play down the Silent? I guess I do play the Silent Lab just in case he does counter. That's fine, and I will get access to Shaymin. So I'm just gonna take the KO. Also, by KOing this Eevee, I'm not forced to play a 7 prize card game. Now I just need to KO 2 more EXs instead of 3. Because if I gave him another turn to evolve the Umbreon, he would have been able to punish me for that. Now he does replace the stadium, so now we do get access to Shaymin, which is great, and it'll be interesting to see if my opponent actually does go for the Dark Hole or if he just blindly attacks. I reckon Dark Hole is a better play, but maybe I'm wrong. He's gonna end me here once again, I think. Yep, he's going to end me, so we lose the escape rope once again. As we lost the Lysander, we also lose the Shaymin, but we still have a ton of outs. And we have Ultra Balls for Shaymins, we have First Seekers, we have Delinquent, we have Energy, so we are good here. We are good. We still have the Switch too as well, right? Yeah, still have the Switch, potentially 2 escape ropes. I don't know that because I didn't check my prize cards, but in a tournament setting, I would definitely know that by now, I think. Like, that's what the first search you do is all about. Figuring out what's prized, what's not, what resources you have access to during a game so that you don't misplay in preparing a play based on, wow, he didn't find energy. In preparing a play based on X card and then said card is simply not there. Now, he once again goes into a Taurus, but now I can do what I was telling you guys. I can attach the energy to the active to prevent Dark Hole from working. I can Lysander around the Taurus into the Shaymin, and I don't really need anything else. And I have another Verseeker for another Lysander if I want to. So I'll just take my 2 prize cards here. And even though we're not dealing a huge amount of damage because we haven't been able to find our elixirs, we've played only 2 and we whiffed a turn of energy as well. That's okay because we're putting pressure onto my opponents. There's no, like, this clearly exemplifies the fact that Taurus is really good, but imagine a scenario where I didn't have the Lysander. I probably still attack the Taurus. Because even if he rages me back, that's fine. I have 2 experience share in play, so I don't lose too much by doing that. And yeah, it's really not a big deal. Now he attaches another darkness. That clearly means that he's gonna Dark Hole here. He's gonna Dark Hole and force me to have the Escape Rope or the Switch, as I was saying. Wow, no, he actually goes for the Strafe. Okay. That was interesting. Okay. So I'm gonna play the Turn Snail, see what I get here. I find the Escape Rope, which is awesome. Obviously I'm gonna attack with baby Yveltal. I'm gonna deal 30 damage to the Taurus, which is great, and I'm even going to get another energy into play, which is just absolutely fantastic. I could Lysander. I could also hold on to my Versus Seeker. Would that be a good idea? I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah. If I don't Sycamore, I don't get the extra energy. So I'll Sycamore. That's fine. That's fine. I still have 2 more Verse Seekers. There's an N. I can attach the Float Stone here or here. No, but I'll do it here. And do I want to Ultra Ball away anything to make my deck thinner? Perhaps the N, because I really won't benefit off of an N. So I'm just gonna Ultra Ball here to make sure I can actually go for Shaymin and try to find elixirs that way. I actually can't do that. I actually don't, but that's fine. I'm not gonna waste the Trainer's Mail because it could save me off of an N. It's another out. And the energy will go to this little guy. Energy in play, guaranteed. Unless he Lysander KOs this Darkrai-EX somehow, but he shouldn't be able to. Versus Seeker for N. That's okay. I'm glad I discarded the other 2 cards. Although now I don't have an Ultra Ball and a Shaymin. Like, I don't have access to either of those. So, maybe it wasn't optimal. But I do find a Switch and a Darkness Energy. So, I'll be dealing... I need to deal 150 damage. I have 6 energy in play. That's 150 damage, exactly. So unless he retreats, that's game. And how would he retreat? Is he going to search for Shaymin now? I would guess so. No, he's gonna search for the Zoroark. Touches another darkness and passes. So my opponent can't count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Like, I'm gonna attach the energy just because, but that's more than enough. That's 170 damage. Yeah. So that's game. That's game. Yeah. Pretty dominating win. The deck is running solidly. It's doing what it needs to do. And it's not getting some crazy explosive turns. Like, if you guys saw my top 4 match against Jesper, you might notice how explosive his turn 1 was. He really got a good turn 1. But that's not always the case. You know, that's definitely not always the case. Okay. So we get a double Darkrai start, that's pretty good. But we get a no supporter start, which is not good. We're up against Mega Mewtwo, which is always a bad matchup. Or not a great matchup, I would say. Evolgan helps us so that we don't get left in the dust. So now we have a couple extra cards to hopefully draw out of this situation. I get an energy though, so not great. Hopefully he ends us. Hopefully he ends us this turn. We're gonna see an Ultra Ball into Hoopa, into 2 Mewtwo's and a Shaymin. Wow, we see Ranger. That's a really peculiar choice for Mega Mewtwo. What kind of effects would you want to get rid of with Ranger? Wow, and triple Mewtwo too. That means he already has a Shaymin. Or he's not even gonna bother with the Shaymin. Ranger, I mean, wow. Okay, so he does end us. That's great. Ranger helps against Regice and Glacian. But I feel like if you're clever with your damage change, you should never lose that exchange. The end doesn't give us a great hand. It's better. It's definitely better than the previous one, but it's not great, and he passes. Okay, so now we actually get a double max elixir turn where we don't hit the first one, and wow, our 6 card our next 6 cards were 2 Sycamore, 2 Ultra Ball, and 2 Shaymin. So no matter what we drew, we would have been good, but looks like that's just not gonna be the case. The second max elixir does hit, and it was 2 energy, 2 Shaymin once again, and 2 Sycamore. And yeah, let's play an Escape Rope. Do I even want to Hex Maniac? Promoting the Hoopa definitely means that he already has a Float Stone, or he's planning on finding one. And yeah, no targets for us. We have 1 card in hand, and things are not looking great. Things are not looking great. Maybe I should have kept the Hex so that I could potentially top deck an Ultra Ball. This just means it's gonna take me an extra turn. He finds Trubbish, so no Shaymin for my opponent. But yeah, Ranger and Mega Mewtwo is just wow. It's gonna KO the Yveltal just now. Huh. Okay, so to say we are in trouble would be an understatement. And I get another energy, so I will just Dark Pulse, send a Broken Heart to my opponent, and that's 6 energy, and he even gets to heal off the damage. That must be really nice. Oh, and there's the Shaymin. Okay, so no Garbodor, thankfully. No Garbodor, thankfully. Okay, so we get a Counter Stadium, which is good, but do I want to play that just yet? I don't think so. I'm gonna bench the Darkrai. I'm going to Shaymin? No, I'm not gonna Shaymin. Trainer's Mail for the Enhanced Hammer to discard that energy off of the Mewtwo. Do I want a second Shaymin? I don't think I do. Not at the expense of just like 3 cards. What I need are experience share. Did I already attach? Yes, I did. So I can't switch. And we do find 1 elixir. We find a 3rd Shaymin. Okay, so 2 elixirs. We really needed the experience shares though, not the elixirs. Okay, so the first one hits. That's great. Can the second one hit? No. So we are 2 for 1, or 2 for 3 rather, in our elixir hits. So let's Dark Pulse. 110. We lose 2 energy next turn though, most likely. He only needs, yeah. Oh, please damage change. Please, please, please damage change. If I had one max elixir down, I wouldn't feel too bad about the position I'm in. But no max elixirs is just terrible. Especially because he takes a KO right here, and I cannot attack him unless I can KO. And either way, he gets to heal off the damage. Ugh. Oh boy. Yeah, because right now I will deal 80 damage. So I'm 20 short. Yeah, nice timing, experience share. Nice freaking timing. Okay. Let's limit my opponent's bench. He gets rid of the Hoopa and a Mewtwo, most likely. Maybe the Garb. Now. Off, off. Off, off, off. Off of this end, I need to find my last elixir and a Fighting Fury belt. Otherwise, I am as good as gone. So I'm actually going to Sycamore because that gives me the best odds of pulling that off. It's very unlikely because I only have one Berserker left, but it's still possible. Okay, so let's do this. And grab this guy. Is it even in the deck? Oh, it's not even in the deck, so there's no point. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede because, like, if the max elixir existed, then I had a chance. But because it doesn't, then I had no chance. I was gonna bench down the Yveltal, use the Ultra Ball, grab the other Shaymin, and set up for 6, looking for that last elixir. But alas, it was prized, so there's nothing you can do right there. Now we see a water fire grass deck. What is that? I have no idea what that is. It's not Vileplume Volcanion, you know. It's definitely not Vileplume Volcanion. So we are going first. I don't need to bench anything else. I generally doubt it's Volcanion with a grass type attacker, like Volcanion Decidueye. You actually see Eevee come out to play. Okay. So sure, like that. I don't really want to Shaymin here. I'm not interested in doing that, so I'm gonna discard the Shaymin. And I will have all 4 Darkrai's in my bench, which is fine. I discard the energy so that I have access to it through Yveltal the next turn, and let's just Sycamore. I do hit another energy, I even hit an elixir. Could be using the Trainer's Mail first. The odds don't change that much, so I don't think it's really worth it. And we get double Sycamore and versus Seeker. So I'm gonna keep the experience share. Probably going to Sycamore next turn. And we pass. Losing a lot of resources if we do Sycamore. And I'm going to predict a versus Seeker top deck as well, so that I regret not grabbing the end. So it is evolutions. I would assume Espion. We lose a Darkrai and the Hoopa. That's perfectly fine. Probably don't need 4 Darkrai, you know. And we see an end, so even better for us. We get a couple extra cards and we lose the clutter of the 2 Sycamore plus the Verse Seeker. We do, however, find 2 Darkness Energy, and my opponent attaches a TCG and flips. Flips for quick draw. Okay. So What I definitely don't want to do is give my opponent a new hand, like he did with me. So Sycamore seems like the more logical choice. And yeah, I'm just hitting every elixir apparently today. Well, not every, but okay, there we go. Actually, I would say it's average so far. I could switch and just take the KO, but I don't think I need to. I removed his energy, so he's already pretty far behind. And there's 3 darkness energy in my discard pile. I don't mind the damage at all, really. Not even a strafe with a Jolteon KOs me. There's the Taurus though. So Taurus is going to be annoying, but I now have 5 energy in play. I have 1 more, that's 6, and then if I Oblivion Wing, that's 7. He does go for the energy evolution, so he will confuse my Yveltal. Or he, okay, I was gonna say, or he could go to Taurus by attaching the Float Stone to the Espion, but apparently that's not his plan. He's gonna confuse me, I guess. 5 energy though, I wish I had 6. No, yeah, we're not getting any close to the KO. But what I can do is switch and Lysander KO. Or even better, I can Float Stone. Even better, I can Float Stone. I can't KO the Shaymin here. Maybe I should have Float Stoned the other, or the Darkrai instead. Nah, that's fine. I'm gonna retreat. And then I'm going to Lysander up the Shaymin. I don't want to deal with RNG, so I don't want to flip for confusion if I don't have to. And I'm already dealing a ton of damage. This Espion already has 30 damage on it. The only thing that has energy that could potentially threaten us. So we are pretty good here. We are pretty good. There's a Super Rod. Oh wow, I didn't even notice the Joltik and Galvantula. That's a cool strategy. My opponent will end me, meaning he might force me to flip for confusion if I don't find a counter to the, or a way to switch out. And looks like that's his plan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 energy. That's 140. 1 more energy means 160. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to risk it. I'm gonna let him get a KO on this Yveltal, and I will Lysander the other Espion GX, so that I actually have a chance to KO them easier. To KO the Espion GXs a lot easier, because that's 1, potentially 2, if I find Fighting Fury Belt. That's 1 or potentially 2 energy less than I need to normally KO. And I'm down to 4 prizes. So putting things in the 170, 180 range is really good. Get to keep the energy, attach another one that's 7 energies, that's 140. Yeah, 7 energies, 140, plus the base 20, that's 160. So if I find the Fighting Fury Belt or attach an energy return, I KO anything. I literally want to KO anything. And if for some reason I lose my Yveltal here, which seems like I will, I have Shaymin for draw. There was my accent. I have Shaymin for draw, so that's pretty good. Decides to attach the Bursting Balloon to the Shaymin. Interesting choice. Definitely an interesting choice. Okay, so he gets his 1 prize card. That's good too because we force him to play a 7 prize game. The energy I will attach to 3 energy. Okay, yeah, we're good. There, I definitely shouldn't play the Hex. Right there. I do find the Flying Field Belt, which is perfect. And now let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So I have yet to play a supporter. I did get the Berserker. So I can Lysander KO the 2 energy Jolteon, which is pretty sick. I could have escape roped in a different scenario, but he would have promoted Davy, forcing me once again to play the 7 prize card game. Don't get me wrong, I still need another energy to KO the Taurus, or a brand new Espion. But I actually do think it's doable. Okay, so there's the Espion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, did I not attach an energy last turn? No, yeah, I did, right? There's streamed the discard battle, that's bad. Okay, so he confuses me. I have Switch, I have Berserker, and therefore that's the game. That top deck Berserker is just too good. Too good. Well, yeah. I do need to do that because I could have escape roped and Lysander and KO'd the... Whoa, I nearly misclicked. And KO'd the Espion. But either way, it works out, right? It works out. So, we do pretty well with the deck. We lose to Mega Mewtwo. I always felt comfortable playing against Turbo Dark with Mega Mewtwo, at least in Anaheim. Darkrai Giratina is a little bit more difficult, but yeah. That's gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support in this new stage of the channel, where now this is my full-time job. For those of you who keep asking me, check out my Patreon. That's the best way you can support me. There's also a donation link on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Tablemon, if you want to go through that and make a one-time donation instead. Streams, once I finalize a schedule and my life gets a little bit more stable, I definitely want to get back to streaming and get back to streaming more than before. So look forward to that. I will announce everything on Facebook as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow for our first fixed expanded day of the week. Every Thursday will now be expanded, so every week we will be exploring expanded, and I think it's something good to a channel. It will add more variety, it will add more relevance to a channel when the expanded regionals take place, and also that's maybe in preparation for myself as well to get more familiar with the decks. Like, I know all the cards, but then the strategies and the plays, I probably don't make the most optimal plays of them all. And thinking a little bit about the 17-18 Pokemon season, like next season, where if things work out, hopefully I'll be able to attend some expanded regionals as well as standard. So that will be all from me today, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.